Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. It's Adrian here from Ancient Great Life, and this is a very much needed reading. Probably right now, at the date on which I'm recording it, which is April the 25th, 2020. But first of all, before I do anything else and before I say anything else, I want you to open your mind to the simple reality that life is an experience. It's not a destination, okay? The destination is the same for all of us. We're born, we live it, we die, okay? But what happens in between is that magical experience that we call life, okay? So, before I actually do anything, I want to ask you, let's first honor the simple truth that we are all souls, individually and collectively, experiencing the human being experience. We are all part of the one source of all divinity, truth, love, and light. That's why you will always hear me. I will often speak about beautiful souls. I believe that everybody is a beautiful soul having a human being experience. And whether you choose to believe yourself to be beautiful or not, whether you believe yourself to be divine or not, does not change the simple truth that you are, that you've got a purpose for being in this life, that you are important, that you matter, that if you were not here, that so many things would be different, that your role is vital. You are pivotal, really, okay? So let us connect in our heart space, and if it's safe for you to take a nice deep breath in, release into peace from the heart space. Okay, I'm going to use my beautiful spray that I have here, which is white sage, rosemary, and some crystals, just to cleanse the space. And there's some for you, some for me. Divine beauty, love and light, which we all are. Okay, so first of all, there is always something in this world to be concerned about. Always. Okay, that is just life. But in the same token, there is also always something in this world to be happy about. So this reading, I'm going to ask you to choose for me, please, whatever resonates with you the most. So either option number 1, option number 2, or option number 3. All right? And this is, where is your current energy taking you? Now, when I do these pick a card readings, what I always say, and when I forget to say it, I believe it's just divinely meant to be that way. Because I do weekly readings for the different zodiac signs as well. But when I say pick a card, whatever resonates with you, 1, 2, or 3, the intention that I put out, whatever information I channel with my higher self, they presented themselves, my collective team, so to speak, presented themselves to me as Smile, which I think is such a beautiful name. I also have a little smiley face on the back of my phone to remind me that I'm never alone, that my soul family is always with me. A solution is always available, and just because we don't see the solution doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. I often say that if you look back on your life a year or 2 ago, whatever your life is, there'll be some sort of situation that you thought you wouldn't get over, and yet you did. So it only stands to reason that whatever you might be facing at this current point in time, that you are able to get over it, through it, past it. Just because you don't know what the solution is, doesn't mean that the solution does not exist. Okay? And we are never alone. All right, so with the readings, I always say, if it resonates with you, look at the whole reading. Because I feel that I don't believe in coincidence. Whether you look at this video, close to the date of me recording it, which is April the 25th, 2020, or whatever point in time, I believe that you see it when you are meant to see it and not a moment before, not a moment sooner. Okay? So I would always recommend look at the whole video, and when whatever number you chose, 1, 2, or 3, whatever number comes to mind for you, listening to the gut inside, that inner guidance that we all have, like you would say for me, for example, oh, Adrian, you're the psychic medium and you're this powerful medium and you channel so powerfully. But when you see that in me, you must have it within yourself as well, because if you don't, then you won't be able to recognize it within me, because life is a mirror reflection of who we are. What you see in me is also within you. All right? And of course, a lot of the classes and the training and the teaching that I do is about learning how to hear that. So I believe that the whole reading is for you. So you can entirely decide for yourself. Do you choose to look at the whole reading? Or do you choose to just look at the number? Whatever resonates with you. I believe that is the right choice for you. So what is your inner gut telling you right now? Should you look at the whole reading or just 1, 2, or 3, because there are timestamps available? And if it does resonate with your mind or with yourself, true for yourself, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. I invite you to hit that notification button or subscription, what do you call it, that notification bell, so you know when the reading comes up. Also for your, as I said, for your zodiac sign, every week, some guidance there for you. And if it doesn't resonate with you to do that, then that's also fine. Okay? Remember, these are general readings. So take what resonates with you, and whatever doesn't resonate with you, just release it with peace and with love and let it go. Okay? Whatever sounds you might hear in the background that is not part of this reading here right now, don't worry about that. Let's remain in the present moment. Let's remain in the most powerful moment, in the moment where your power lies, which is here and which is now. Okay? In the powerful present moment. So I'm going to draw for you a number of cards, and these are some, I've got my crystal oracles here because I'm also a Reiki master and a crystal healer, which is what I incorporate into my regression hypnosis sessions, past life regression and this sort of thing. And as you can see, I also love my crystals. I've got my beautiful rose quartz over here, which is my crystal of love and light. Know that whatever I do, the intention is always that it serves the greatest purpose, the greatest good of all, your greatest good. Okay? Remember, what you give out is what comes back to you. Okay? And in so saying, when you don't like what life shows to you or what it reflects back to you, remember, you always, always, always have the power. You always had the power to change that. Okay? Remember that we have always have the power to change our experience of life. Some cards that fell here. Oh my goodness. All right. And for some reason, there goes my moonstone. I'll fix that a little bit later. Also, guys, if you ever have that, you have a crystal or you've got some crystal jewelry, just hold it a moment. Okay. So, by some things are moving into a new phase, to a new way of being. So what I was going to say is, when you find that you have crystals and they break, physical crystal, or like this crystal necklace that I have, which is moonstone, which is my birthstone, it's usually that you no longer need that energy, all right? In this case, for all of you looking at this right now, and I speak this from love and light to the part of you that is also the part of me within you, and the part of you that is also the part of you within me, because we are all one. That this is the start of a whole new beginning. Because at this current point in time, we are going around, and sometime in future we'll see what are the many benefits and lessons we could learn from this. And this is what this reading's about as well. What we could learn from the experience. We are currently in the coronavirus. We are in lockdown, so I can't really go outside as I often like to do. And that often means that one has to do inner reflection, which is not always the easiest thing to do. Okay, so even if you choose to look at the whole reading, I would still like you to choose either number 1, 2, or 3, unless you decide that all that is positive you will claim for yourself. And it just went double one there now. On the time, actually it popped from double one to double one, 1, 2. New beginnings, portal of new beginning, opening, going forward, and so it is. All right. Let me just get this. There we go. So selection number 1. All right. And oh yeah, there will be some timestamps for this as well. So I'm going to look at the tarot cards that came out first, and then we're going to do a bit of clarifying there as well for you. For what's happening next? Where's life going next? What can I expect next? Okay, so number 1, 8 of Cups. So many of you would have really stepped away from some things that weren't serving you in the most positive ways. Okay, this could be physically stepping away, the mindset stepping away, in the emotion stepping away, some beautiful growth taking place there. And something to remember, which you will hear me say quite often, is that not all positive change feels positive in the beginning. Okay, so sometimes it's got a bit of a rocky start, and if we can open your mind to the idea that, be it currently where we are, in the face of the coronavirus, or be it for whatever life situation it might be that drew you, and that guided your heart to this reading, whatever that may be, know that you are already in the process. And whenever I really kind of get to a point where it's like a big point, somehow my nose will itch. I think it's got to do with back in the day, I used to, just really for fun, classically train, like sing baritone opera. And when you hit that high notes, and sometimes your nose will itch, even drip a little bit. But for many of you, it is that you stepped away already from what isn't serving you in a positive way, and the circumstances that you are having around you is almost like you're moving from one space to another, where you are going from that one sort of energy space that may have served you very positively before, but now you are ready for something different. And it's very important to remember that just because we are moving away from one point to another point doesn't necessarily make the point that we are moving from wrong. Okay? If you want to put it in the analogy of, for example, moving from primary school to secondary school, or what we in South Africa call high school. Just because you're moving from primary school to high school, there's many reasons to celebrate, because it is a life achievement, as many things are. As we walk through this experience of life, it doesn't have to now, since you're going to, secondary school, high school, whatever you call it, or even as you move from high school to, be it college, be it university, be it life, be it whatever, doesn't have to make the past experience wrong. It is just not for you anymore. It has served its purpose. And there is a lot of power to be found in this world when you can recognize your purpose and the timing of your purpose. All right? And as much as it benefits us to embrace what will serve you best currently now, there is equal power in knowing when it is time to let go. This can often be quite a scary period in this world, but remember, we are never alone. You can always ask for assistance. We've got your soul family, you've got the angels, and so importantly, you have got the knowledge within your own heart, always. Okay? So many of you are stepping away, or in the process of, I would rather say, merging away from a certain life form, sort, being. Okay? Accept the experience. Because the cards that we have, 4 cards, okay. I thought it was 3. No problem. Did I get the other ones 4 as well? Apparently I did. Which is good, because 4 is actually, in numerology, 4 is a number about finding stability, finding strength within the moment, truth, honesty. Okay, because once you stand in truth, once you stand in honesty, and obviously with number 8 there as well, 4 plus 4 equals 8, which is a strength. When you look at things from all different sides, in a sense, almost like those, I think they call it like a hectagon, if I'm correct, like a star, all different angles. So, cards coming out for you are the 3 of Swords, the 9 of Swords, the Tower, and the Emperor. Okay, so we're going to look at them, and then we're also going to draw some clarifiers for you to see exactly what this is all about, and just bring them in the sequence that they came out. So, with the 3 of Wands, so I feel that you're walking away from something, but you've got very much a clear indication of what it is that you're walking towards. Okay? With the 3 of Wands, it's a confirmation that you are first of all heading in the right positive direction, that your dreams are in the process of coming true. Also remember that I would say probably 99% of manifestation takes place in our energy field before it physically manifests in this specific experience of life. So you may sometimes feel like things are not working exactly, the way that you'd like them to work. However, when you allow yourself to maybe look at things from a different angle, or even allow a different emotion to sit with you, and you can try it on, say, I'm going to try this for 5 minutes, see how it feels. If I like it, kudos, and if I don't, not kudos. In that sense, we can sometimes get a lot of clarity about a situation. The human mind likes to cling on to stuff. The human mind is not exactly jumping up in the sky and saying, hippie hooray, there's some change happening over here. That is ordinarily not the case. So be patient with yourself and know that the dreams that you have inside your heart, those dreams that you might have in fact given up to, are in fact in the process of unfolding, and it will lead you to a stronger version of yourself. So after the 3 of Wands, very strength there, 3 times 3 equals 9, you get the 9 of Swords. So yes, there will be worries and there will be concerns about maybe some of the details. Where will you find the time? Where will you find the money? Will they understand? What I know for sure is that when you change, everything else in your life changes. Okay? Within my own personal capacity of life, as well as with my clients as holistic wellness practitioner, be it Reiki, be it crystal healing, be it, angel healing, regression hypnosis, numerology. a great part of the work that I feel so honored to do is sometimes when people do what we call spiritual awakening, which is really just, I believe, realizing more of who you are, who you already are, the great potential that you are. Okay? Sometimes it's very scary. And if you are going to an experience like that, know that my heart is with you and I'm sending you love and I'm sending you light. And know that you've got your spiritual team and your angels with you. You can ask for help and assistance always. But also know in the same token, though many of you might be having trouble sleeping, concentrating, first of all, abundance is always around us. It's always available. Help is always around us. It's always available. We need to ask, though, because of the free will that we have. The universe, not even source of all itself, would be my name for God, is going to come in there and say, let me do this. It may invite you, but it will not infringe upon your free will and your free choice as a soul having a human being experience. What I can share with you, if you are in a position where you are worried or concerned, when we come from a point of love, it's basically impossible to go wrong because you come from a highly positive point. Okay? And what I was going to say earlier on, a lot of times, a lot of my clients are worried because what will their family say? What will they think? You would usually find that as you change, surprisingly so, the people that you love in your life, they kind of merge and change as well. It's almost as if by some sort of magic. Because ordinarily, our loved ones want us to be happy. And sometimes they may not understand our choices, but when they see how happy these choices make us, then they go like, maybe he's got a point. Maybe she's got a point. I do feel there with the Tower card, there are many of you that are going through a very overwhelming sort of experience. It might feel that everything is falling apart right now. Maybe all your life savings, where you thought your life will go, emotions, stabilities that you thought that you had, foundations that you thought that were secured, kind of feels not so secured at the moment. Know and understand that sometimes deep purging and deep cleaning is necessary in order to move to the next phase. Know that you are on the right track. As the Three of Wands reminded you there, that your ship's already in the harbor. Whatever we want is already available to us. Okay? All we need to ask and allow. Emperor letting you know that once again with number 4, stability and strength, that you are on the path that serves you best. Okay. Then let me just see what other cards we have here. So I'm going to start off with your crystal oracle card, which says Pyramophyte, or patience. So it's about having patience with yourself, having patience with life, allowing the process to unfold in the way that it is divinely meant to do so. If there is one thing that I've learned in my life, and I have learned this lesson very often by bumping my head, it is that everything in this world will happen as and when it's supposed to happen. What I know for certain is that there is a life force within all of us. There is potential for incredible greatness in this world, in all of us. Whatever makes your heart smile, makes your soul do a bit of like a happy dance, that is what's leading you to your purpose. So what is it that makes you happy? And sometimes it may seem very unlikely that it will ever come true. I have spent a significant time of my life running away from who I'm not, or from who I didn't want to be, rather. Until I did what I'm currently doing exactly with you, which is sharing, doing readings for others. For me, my purpose is to help others find their purpose. I love it when people are happy. I love it when people smile. I love it when people come into their greatest potential of life. And that could be that you are on a international platform in the world, or it could be that you are a housewife, a student, a gardener, a cashier, a painter, any other different sort of artist, a truck driver. Whatever makes your heart smile, that is your purpose. That is your contribution to this world. And I feel that one of the biggest gifts that we can give to ourselves, I understand that everybody needs to make money, but one of the biggest, and make a living, but I feel one of the biggest injustices that you can do to yourself in this world is to not at least be open to that whisper that always calls you back home to your heart. Okay? Watching clouds says lie back, rest and relax. Take it easy. Let the universe, give the universe, God, source of all, the divine, the creator, the maintainer, the angels, our soul family, all these beings that we always talk about. Give it a chance to surprise you into this world, to show up, and give yourself a chance to show up. Okay? Cleaning house, 37 there, 3 plus 7 equals 10. 10 is about, cycles of completion, which is also new beginnings. Cleaning house, having the willingness to let go of that which no longer serves you in a positive way, whether you consciously know what that is or don't. Being willing to let go of that which no longer serves you in a positive way, and a confirmation there that karma is on your side. We have this perception that as human beings, we like to romanticize things. And there's this perception that karma has to sometimes be a bad thing. But as we said earlier on, karma is the process of life that you go through, and it's almost like what you give out is what comes back to you. So it's how you shape your life, how you shape your future. And you have done well. You've done well so far. It might not always feel that way, but you've done well so far. And we're just going to clarify for you with 3 cards. Okay, 4 cards apparently. We seem to be into the number 4. I often work with number 3, but we seem to be number 4, even though my life part number, actually, now that I think about it, is number 8, which is great. So just final closing off for you, if this is the selection that you chose, is the 6 of Wands that confirms that you are stepping into that greater purpose of your life, into happiness, into a more unfolding, sort of abundant version of yourself. Okay? Learn some lessons. Now moving forward, because the 6 of Wands is all about becoming. And in a very positive sense. It's a very, very positive card. If you're ever looking for a positive omen, that's your omen. Okay? Then we had the Star, which once again confirms for you that the universe is on your side. That it doesn't really matter which way you turn, whether you turn this way or that way. Abundance is always on your side. It always is. We just sometimes forget that. The Fool, brand new part, brand new start, brand new beginning, and you've got what it takes. Finishing off for you with the 3 of Pentacles that confirms for you that easy does it. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to this life that from the soul plane you chose to incarnate into, and know that even though sometimes it can be confusing and it can be overwhelming, that there is a purpose in it. There is a lesson in it, and there is a lot of joy to be found within it. Celebrate the joy, and when the difficult periods come, know that you will be able to get through those as well. And you will get to the other side a stronger version of yourself And same as with any other experience that you've ever had in your life where you've been challenged, when you look back, you will realize that you have grown so much from that experience that sometimes, even at the time, the experience itself might have not been pleasant and might have been overwhelming and might have felt demeaning and all those things. But when you look back at it, you realize that it was a blessing because it brought you to a greater version of yourself. And so it is. Namaste. Number 2. Alrighty. Okay, so if you opted to not look at the whole reading and you're only taking the timestamp to card option number 2, welcome. Here we go, this is for you. Remember, this is a general guidance reading. You accept within your heart what is for you and whatever doesn't resonate for you and what isn't true to your heart. Simply let it pass by like a ship in the dark of the night, a little sailboat. You never even knew that it was there because it wasn't there for you. That, in fact, is a very good attitude to have in life as well. Love, appreciate, share, be there for your neighbor, support one another. But if it ain't your beef, it ain't your beef. Okay? The overall energy for your reading, and I feel that, sorry, just before I get there, I feel that that you have a lot to learn in this life. I feel that you've learned a lot about yourself and you've come to a point which has really brought you, which is really this overall energy of your card, which is the 8 of Wands. I feel that you have done lots of inner work which has brought you to this perfect platform where you can discover more of who you are. That you are now ready to take that next step. And of course in life, as Lao Tzu said, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one single step. I feel that you've taken a lot more than one single step. You've done that inner work. You've faced, like all of us, some challenging times, some difficult periods. And even though at the time the experiences might have not made sense, might have felt unfair, might have felt overwhelming, it brought you to where you currently are now. So let's see what that is all about. I feel you're a very mature soul, what almost the same as people always call an old soul. All right, so the cards that came out for you are the Star, the Nine of Pentacles, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Pentacles. Now, this is a very, very, very powerful reading. Because you are ready to receive. And the thing is, when you reach this point where you're ready to receive, sometimes we start to doubt ourselves. You know, we go like, I don't know, maybe not. All right? You might feel that there's more sort of preparatory work that needs to be done in order to get you ready to move on to that next phase. And something that you want to be mindful of is when we have gone through a period of challenges, because the human mind is a creature of nature, of habit, that likes to hold on to things. What can happen sometimes when you needed to be the strong parent, the single mother, or the single parent really, when you needed to overcome difficulty in your life, whatever the case may be, when for some reason you needed to go into that sort of maybe warrior sort of survival mode. Oftentimes, when it's no longer necessary for us to have that, we have difficulty shaking that. Okay? And think of it like this. And if you are looking at this and you are, not a meat eater or against the consumption of meat, I do apologize. Please understand that this is just a comparison. And I honor, love, and respect you. But let's take the example of a turkey. When you put a turkey in an oven, you have to do it at a set temperature. You need to prepare it in certain ways. You have to do it at a set temperature. And then you need to have quite a bit of patience while it's becoming, this crispy, brown, tasty sort of turkey that you're going to eat for Christmas or Thanksgiving or whatever the occasion may be. Now, the preparation process and the waiting process can sometimes be long and, can sometimes begin to feel kind of odious. That, it only makes sense that depending on the size of the turkey, the moment you put it in the oven, at some point or other, if that's going to be your meal, you might want to consider a different meal in the interim, unless you're fasting, But then when the turkey is done, it only makes sense to then take it out of the oven, even after that period of time. Because if we're going to leave it inside the oven, then it's going to burn and then we won't be able to reap the full benefits of all that experience. It's the same thing with life sometimes. Okay? So, from my heart, congratulations if you reach this point. Congratulations, because it takes a lot, going through quite a bit of difficulty sometimes, having to go to look at parts of yourself that sometimes we would prefer to not even acknowledge that we have, and then to work at healing those parts, letting go, forgiveness. What we in spiritual practice usually referred to as the dark night of the soul. But once you've reached that point of the dark night of the soul, once you've let go of that which no longer serves you in a positive way, that is when all the affirmations that you put out there, all the vision boards that you made, all the secret wishes that you made, the prayers that you maybe made in the middle of the night, when you spoke to the divine, be it in the nicest, beautiful ways or sometimes in some frustration for what it is that you'd like for your life. Now you have, and this is the important thing to remember, that you have, on the one sense, communicated to the universe what it is that you'd like your experience of life to be, your manifestation. But you have, through the difficult work that you have done, brought yourself to the point where you are now ready to experience that abundant experience of life. Oftentimes when we go through difficult periods in life, it might feel there's no purpose, there's no point. Why is this even happening to me? What's the point of breathing? And I know I've been there before, more than once. Okay? It took me literally bringing myself, I would say, through the front door of taking my own life to really come face to face with realizing the value of who I am. And let me tell you right now, whether you choose to believe it or not, you have value, you have purpose in this world. Everybody does. Absolutely everybody. You do, I do, everybody does. Okay? So, confirming for you that you have now brought yourself to this really powerful point in life where you can beautifully receive. And it's like, when they speak about the gates of heaven, or the windows of abundance being open to you and the sun shining brightly on your face, you are now in that period. It is like this piece of music, this beautiful piece of music that was popularized by Sarah Brightman and Andrea Bocelli, Time to Say Goodbye, which is all about knowing when it's time to let go, when it's time to set free, so that the beauty of life and love and positivity and possibility can flow into your life easily and effortlessly. And this is where you are. Okay. The next card for you was the Nine of Pentacles, which goes, as I said, this is a powerful, powerful reading. The Nine of Pentacles is all about what is your picture of abundance for you. When we speak about abundance, abundance is a different picture for all of us. And an example that I love to use is that for one person, abundance is to live in the very comfortable house, be it a large house, be it a mansion, whatever, on the mountain hill, in the forest, in an apartment, on the sea line. I don't know. Maybe you like open spaces, so you live somewhere in Nevada. Or maybe you like a lot of people around you. You like the energy, the interaction. So central New York is more your place. London. Or maybe you're like me. I love the benefits of the city, but I also love nature. So for me, Cape Town is a perfect fit. Okay? So first of all, what is the picture of abundance for you? What is your dream life? What is if you really get to wave a magical wand, and this is something I always say to people, in the regression hypnosis sessions that I do, if you can wave some sort of magic wand and the desires of your heart come true, and nobody will be disadvantaged by your decisions and your choices and your wishes and your desires, what would that look like for you? Because when you think of that and you come from that space of love, then it's almost like you work, not always, you do work with this magical force, and things somehow just work out for you in magically beautiful, abundant ways. And you have brought yourself now to that point where you are ready. So do yourself a massive, massive, massive favor and get out of your own way. Get out of your own way. And how do we get out of our own way? Again, if you were in that space where you had to be the strong person, the backbone, it's time to relax. Just take a breath. Take an emotional, body, even physical, if you can, break. Take small little breaks in between. Practice meditation. Watch the sunset come up. Spend an extra 10 minutes inside the toilet and lock the door, even if you don't physically use the facilities. Just to spend some time on yourself, to listen to your favorite song, and it could be some kind of violin quartet playing Mozart, or it can be full out rock and roll, whatever makes you feel okay. Because first of all, that moves you into that heart space, and it brings you into the present moment, because when we're in the present moment, we are at our most powerful. And the reason why life is asking you, with this Nine of Pentacles, what is it that you want to have from your life right now? The question is always being asked from us, but the reality is that we are not always emotionally, physically, spiritually ready to receive. But the good news is that you currently are. If you are currently looking at this video right now, then I affirm from my heart, from the part of me that is within you and the part of you that is within me, because we are all a reflection of one another. And as I always say with readings, the information that I give you will hardly ever be new, because you are bringing the information to yourself in a way that you can perceive it. That's what you've done. That is why you are currently looking at this video. It doesn't matter whether you came across it by chance, or if it was on somebody's social media or somebody sent it to you. It doesn't matter how you came about it. However you came about it, in a divine level, we are all connected. Like trees, for example, trees' roots is all somehow connected, and trees can communicate with each other via, or you can almost say like signals that they send to each other via their roots. Same as we have within our body, where our cells communicate with each other and send messages to the brain and back. Trees do exactly the same thing with one another because they understand that they are all interconnected. Okay? The Wheel of Fortune is confirming for you that the time is right for you here and now to abundantly receive that which will serve your life in optimal ways. And look at the card that you're finishing off with, the King of Pentacles. More abundance. You moving into, look at this, the King of Pentacles with the Wheel of Fortune. So if we just go back, so I just want to go back for you just a moment. So we started off there with the Eight of Pentacles, which is the emotional stability that you have, confirming that because of where you currently are, that you brought yourself to the point where the universe, which can always flow to us, is now able to assist you powerfully, beautifully, so things can come to you easily and effortlessly, and so it is. Because you brought yourself to this point. And it's a very important thing to remember, especially when life isn't going so well, that if by the thoughts that you give out, by what you choose to focus on, consciously or subconsciously, because yes, there are some things happening, kind of like in the back as well for us, in our pathology, in our DNA, but that is really what things like ancestral healing, inner child healing, timeline healing, regression, the hypnosis that I do, that is really what it's about, getting rid of those things. But please understand that in your conscious capacity, none of us is a victim to anything, unless we choose to be. So if you could bring yourself, by your thoughts and your beliefs about life and about yourself, to and by believing what your value is and what your worth is, okay? If you could bring yourself to a point that you don't like, then it only stands to reason that you can get yourself out of that point by the same devices, and know this for sure, that love works more powerfully than the dark. The light works faster than the dark. So if you got yourself into a situation that you didn't like incredibly fast, know this. Know your power. Claim your power. That you can get yourself out of that situation even faster. Okay? So Nine of Pentacles, what is it that you want to have? Because the universe, the entire universe is available to assist you with that right now. And so it is. Let's look at your oracle cards. So you have got Azurite, expanded awareness. Expanded awareness of who you are. Of the divine being who you are. Love, light, infinite possibility. That is who you are. Gates of Triumph. I mean, you've all seen me select these cards. I didn't even pre-select them because there have been some opinions before about, oh, there's such a beautiful message, but if you pre-selected them, have you not maybe looked at them, and then you kind of, just kind of talk in that direction so you can see it that way. My people, no. First of all, that would be worse than cheating, because this what I do, what we are doing here together, this is about your divine experience of life. This is serious, serious business. We got no time for shenanigans here. Yes, I might be one of the, probably more goofy sort of tarot readers that for some weird reason at some point, might just burst out into singing and dancing and weird stuff like that. But understand or know that I understand the importance of what I do. Okay? And also, I'm curious. I'm a busybody. I really am. And the thing about becoming very good at, be it channeling or be it card readings or runes that I also do. And isn't this bag so beautiful, guys? My best friend made this for me, handmade it, stitched it. Now if you can see, it's kind of like golden threading, and because I do Reiki, there's the chakra, the power symbol with some crystals in it. It's beautiful. And I've got another one over here where I sometimes put my other mobile phone in or some crystals with another powerful symbol over there and some citrine crystals, which is all about power. And also citrine, interesting enough, is the crystal of success, of prosperity. Okay, if you want to use it, and if it does become a bit overpowering sometimes, because it can, just carry a beautiful piece of rose quartz with it. Okay, same potential, but not so being so strong. But card here for you, Gates of Triumph. Success expands in your life. If that's for you, you claim that. You claim that, and so it is. I even have a crystal elixir that I mix up. Beautiful selection there. And it says unlimited potential. Just a beautiful elixir kind of blend there. And that's what I'm drinking, by the way. Because not only is it about positively, what I do, positively benefiting me, but it's also about positively benefiting you. Golden Palace, beautiful things there coming in your life, beautiful confirmation, strong roots, leading to even more fantastic foundations. And this is one of the cards in this it's deck collection that is so beautiful for me, such an amazing reminder. It says, no two flowers are the same, yet all are beautiful in their own way. What a powerful reminder that even though we are not the same, how boring will that be? So dull. Even though we are not the same, we all have the potential to contribute to life in profoundly beautiful ways. Cards that we're finishing off here that came out here, the Sun, embracing your power, embracing your energy, moving into a powerful, powerful, powerful new phase. The Tower, in direct contradiction with that, it might not be feeling that way right now. You might have been listening to all I've been saying. You go like, oh, that's very sweet, but it doesn't feel that way. Not all positive change feels good in the beginning. This is about some deep purging, taking out some deep roots to start something beautiful, incredible, and new. So if you are going through a difficult time at the moment, know and claim in your heart that this is happening because life has put a beautiful buffet out for you. And what would you choose from that buffet because you are ready to eat? Confirmed there for you by 9 of Cups. So having some worries, having some fears, having concerns, life is taking care of it for you. Don't get yourself turbulent and trippy over things. Finishing off there for you with the 4 of Swords. Moving into your power. Moving into the realization that the success or the person that you might have been looking for in this world has been you all along. And so it is. And so it is. Claim it inside your heart. Claim it, claim it, claim it. Claim your power now. Claim your energy now. Claim your blessings now. Claim your miracles now. And how do you do that? By being present now. Taking a breath. And enter into peace. Because when you focus on your breathing, you can't actually be anywhere else. And that's the power of the present moment. Number 3, high. 3 is a number that I often work with. So, and even if you look at some of my other videos, or going forward, just because 3 is a number I always work with, doesn't always happen that way. If you happen to look at card selection number 1 and number 2, you will see that for some reason, the number 4 kept on coming out, which is about strength, which is about stability. So it's about listening to that inner voice, that powerful GPS that we are all born with. We are all born with that powerful guiding force inside of us. The question is, will you listen? Will you listen? Because sometimes we even hear, it could be like a child. You'll hear the parent, or you hear the teacher, or you'll hear your supervisor or your boss, but will you listen? Okay. Knight of Wands is the overall energy for your reading. Okay. Youthful spiritual energy, new beginnings, new start. Might appear like a new offer coming in, but this is, understand when this happens that you have brought yourself to this point. Understand when this happens that whatever wish it is that you put out there, dream, might have worked hard, might have thought that it's never happening for you, it's coming true. It's coming true. The call that you put out into the universe was so strong and so pure that it's like the angels came together and they say, you know what? Let's go do that one a favor. Let's go lend a helping hand. Know that the point that you get to, you work together with the universe to get to this point. Because you are the universe. And the universe is you. Okay? Sometimes in this life, we will feel that we don't measure up. You may have felt many times in your life like you don't measure up. Just because that is the way that you feel doesn't necessarily make it true. Okay? I'm going to go out in the street today and I'm going to feel like a white man with blue eyes and blonde hair. No matter how much I live myself into that fantasy, it ain't true. Okay? And no, that is not a racist comment. That is just a little letting you understand what I'm talking about. Life is the ever unfolding, beautiful, revolutionary experience of becoming the greatest version of who you could potentially be. And I feel that you're stepping into that. It's like the clouds are moving away in front of the sun, and finally it's like the light can bask on your face. And why not just enjoy it? Because you deserve it, because you are worth it. Yes, you would have worked hard to get to this point, but also understand that in a world where we are taught from a very young age that you have to work hard for what you want in order to deserve it, know this. Not just because I say it, ask yourself within your heart, within your soul, if this makes sense to you. That by the mere process of being born, you are worth a wonderful life. When you really take the time, and I remember when I was in school, it blew me away. When you take the time to invest in the knowledge of who you are, where you come from, and I'm talking about the simple biology of the tiniest microscopic part from your father merging with a slightly larger part of your mother, becoming one, developing and unfolding into a human being that is born and that grows and that develops and that breathes and has personality and can experience joy and life and light and bring so much joy to others by the simple process of being. A baby doesn't need to do anything in this world to be cute. They just are. It's like little kittens. You just want to hold them. They're beautiful. And yes, you may be from a past where maybe your upbringing wasn't that easy. It doesn't change the fact that you are born divinely perfect, divinely beautiful, and completely deserving by the simple process of electing to be a soul that participates in the individual and collective experience of human life. It's a major deal. And you volunteered to do it. Now, we choose this life for many different reasons. Some of us come here to learn lessons. Some of us come to assist somebody else that might go to a difficult time at this particular point in time or at another point in time. That is why I say we are all soul family. Have you ever noticed that sometimes you meet the right person at the right time and it seems almost kind of sort of like magical divine intervention? That is in your soul plan, in your life plan, in your Akashic records. You came into this life to assist somebody at the right divine time. Whether that was that you saved them from major catastrophe in this world, or whether it was somebody that you helped carry their bags when they couldn't do it themselves. You were the one that were there at the point in time when somebody needed you to be there. What greater purpose could there possibly be in this world? Some of us incarnate because we can. I always say that it is like being at a theme park, and you know, when you're from the soul plane looking from the outside in, you get to see all these things that you can do. But it's only once you actually go into the theme park, you know, when you buy your ticket or present your ticket, you know, you are born, you go through the experience, the incarnation through the veil, that you get to be inside the experience, that you get to have fun, or maybe help somebody else hold their hand so they can go on the high swing or the fastest or whatever. You are a divine gift to this world. Know this, claim this, live from that infinite possibility and potential that you are. And know that yes, it's wonderful that you've done a lot of things to get to where you are. It's beautiful. But know that by the simple act of being born, you've done everything that needed to be done. And I salute you for that, as I salute myself for that. Okay. Cards for you. Good judge of character. Justice. The King of Cups. The Two of Swords. And look at this process of completion. The Queen of Cups. Sometimes you would be that person who might have to make what others would refer to as the more difficult decision. More sort of like, so youthful within, but also very sort of authoritative feel, knowing what needs to be done and doing it. Possibly some sort of Libra energy there, very balanced, very fair, but also a lot of sun, a lot of light. Okay? A very strong, powerful, natural leader. And some of you might immediately go like, oh, but that's not me. Sometimes that's what leaders say. You have the ability to see a situation for what it is. You can see it for what it is. You can see it for the truth of what it is. And you would be able to see potential where others might see catastrophe. You would often know what to do. It just kind of comes naturally to you. And I feel that you might be, at this point in time, whenever you're looking at this, I feel that you might be feeling a little bit stuck because you might say, like, I sort of instinctively always know what to do. However, at this point, I'm feeling a little bit stuck. You want to open yourself to the idea that perhaps maybe it's time for you to take a little bit of a break. And maybe it's time for you to sit back and to reevaluate things a bit and to see what is it I've learned so far that I might have overlooked. What are the repeating circumstances that took place in my life that I might have almost kind of sort of missed the point, you know? Because I believe that when the same thing happens in our life over and over and over, so repeating, you know, what are you possibly missing? A very good friend of mine, Gemini, she said something once which really made me think. She said that once you learn the lesson, the circumstances or the situation disappear. When you forget the lesson, the circumstances come back. They return. So if you feel there are certain things in your life you thought, I dealt with this, it should have dissipated, but somehow it's back. Ask yourself, did you maybe forget? Did you maybe go into a space of forgetting? Not just the lesson, but maybe who you are. A question that I always ask myself when I go into periods where, you know, where I forget who I am, or I get overwhelmed, or whatever the case may be. And we are all in the process of learning. I can be very impulsive sometimes. And when I do something and I reflect back on it again afterwards, in honesty, I say to myself, Adrian, did you in that moment maybe forget to love? Did you forget that we are all souls having a human being experience? Did you maybe forget, and I don't say this with judgment towards myself, by the way, but did you maybe forget that sometimes when people are nervous, scared, afraid, that you don't always know everything about somebody else's life, they may do things that you may perceive to be callous, to be cruel, to be cold, but that is from your perspective. From their perspective, it might be very different. Maybe they also forgot who they are at the moment. So if you're feeling stuck, know that the world can be a crazy place sometimes, and sometimes all of us will forget who we are. But when we really don't know what to do, I do nothing. I speak to my spiritual team. I speak to Source of All. I speak to my angels. I speak to my spirit guides. And I say, ya all. I need a little help here. I'm feeling just a little bit stuck. I'm not sure how to proceed forward. I'm trying to proceed with love, but I'm not feeling very loving right now. Can you give me a little hand, please? And then I wait. And always, without exception, the universe shows up. Always. Okay? I remind myself, like Eckhart Tolle used to say in his book, A New Earth, which is obviously a quote that is just used. It doesn't matter, because no information is really new when you think about it. That is that craziness that I'm talking about. This too shall pass. And when you apply that into your life, when things go beautifully, I live inside the moment and I'm grateful within the moment because I know it will pass. And when I'm in that space where I feel like, oh my goodness, I also remind myself that this too shall pass. And am I getting the lesson? Or did I possibly forget the lesson? And am I remembering to love? Am I remembering that that other person that I might perceive as whatever ugly word is the extension of me, is a soul having a human being experience, is another person that is also trying their absolute best to do their best. And that is not always easy. One of my favorite songs is "What the World Needs Now is Love, Sweet Love. That's the only thing that there's just too little of." This is such beautiful chords. This is so beautiful, my people. This is so, so beautiful. Clear quartz, crystal of all possibility. Purification taking place on all levels of life. Know that the source that creates us, maintains us, and works on our behalf, whether you choose to believe it or not, always there for us. Know that we are a divine being that chose a blessed incarnation. A difficult task, not always easy, but you chose it because you knew that you could do it. So go deep and explore your roots with grounding. Be open to reconnecting, or if you've never done so before, be open to connecting with Mother Gaia, with the earth, with the planet, with the fairy realm. Up until about 3 years ago, I always knew the fairies were there, but we didn't have too much of a thing with each other. They were there and I was here. Work with them because they understand human needs and desires. 46 there, 4 plus 6 equals 10. 10 is the end of new cycles. Coming apart, things in your life might feel that they're disintegrating at the moment. But know that in the same way that when you break the egg from the outside, you destroy life. But when you allow it to crack from the outside, from the inside, out, it unfolds life and you. Your egg is busy being cracked from the inside, and nobody else is doing it but you. Because you know within your soul, within the deepest, intelligent, intellectual, all-knowing, eternal, harmonious and peaceful, loving part of yourself that is always there, that it is time for you to move to the next and beautiful, incredible level of your life. You know that it's time. And you are adored. This says, don't be fooled by the players. Don't be fooled by the players and don't be fooled by yourself. There's no one more lovable nor loved than you. And I know everyone. Beautiful little heart. Precious, the universe. The greatest gift that you can give yourself in this life is the gift of yourself. We spend so much time in this world trying to be someone different, someone else, because we sometimes, unfortunately often, perceive ourselves to not be good enough. But when you can realize that you are really one damn special person, your life, by the simple, even smallest part of acceptance of the idea that you are incredibly wonderful and you play an important part in this world, by even on the smallest scale, beginning to embrace that idea, your life will expand in beautiful, beautiful, beautiful ways that serve your incarnation in positive ways. And so it is. Namaste. I thank you for your time. I thank you for your energy. I thank you for your love. I thank you for your light. If it resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell. Leave me some comments. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. And I will check in with you soon. Namaste.